So if you put it all together in terms of everything you've gathered from this particular quote unquote game, again, 22-10 blue victory. So mark that down, everyone. And then everything else that's happened over the course of the spring, anything else of note that you think is significant?
Well, I think that it sounds like, we talked about this last week. The team is playing with a lot of fire. There's a different energy to this team. You could see, I think one big thing, which this seems so trivial, but they came out in all blue uniforms and all maize uniforms. And that's something that it doesn't seem like it's a big deal because it's a spring game, whatever. But it's something that is much different than what Harbaugh has shown in the past. So maybe there still is that culture shift that's, continually happening, that he's willing to try new things, add some things for recruiting, get these guys, jazzed up for whatever they need to do to add that extra bit of energy. But from everything that I saw, especially on Saturday, was that the defense was flying around the ball. And there was just energy on both sides, some chippiness, even, guys fighting a little bit after the play. So it felt like, from everything we saw, it was a lot different than what we saw at the end of 2020, where it didn't look like these guys even wanted to, get off the bus and go on those fields, let alone adding some chippiness and fighting and energy and all the, use whatever adjective you want to there. But it just felt like, there is something new to this. And I think that is what Jim Harbaugh really has tried to do with his younger coaching staff. So that sounds like it's paying off. The other things in terms of personnel, it sounds like Daxton Hill, the 5-star free safety, now in his junior year, is by far the best player on the field at all times when he's on it. He is incredibly athletic. He makes plays that he shouldn't make from all the way across the field. I saw that a lot at the end of last year, where it felt like there was, not a single person in the secondary or the linebacking core that wanted to make a tackle. And then Daxton Hill would come across the field, like a slingshot, bat out of hell, and somehow make a play. So I think he's continuing to do that and lead that secondary. And Jamon Green is a guy that's been making some strides at the cornerback position. I think this defense will be a lot better than it has been in the past. I think they'll be able to make adjustments in terms of what personnel they have on the field, instead of where Don Brown was trying to use his defense no matter what personnel is on the field. I think Mike McDonald's going to see, take into account what he's got in terms of personnel, and then utilize a defense that fits that mold. That's where I think Michigan was having more struggles on the defensive side of the ball. The other thing that I think that we found out from spring practice is this offensive line is not going to be great, but they're not going to be the liability that some people thought they were. They're older, but they don't have much experience. It's a lot of backups and walk-ons that are playing, as well as throw in some freshmen to round it out. So I don't think they're going to be anything that you can hang you're hanging your hat on, or that's going to drive this offense. But they aren't going to be, making, letting up sacks or being the problem in the running game or anything like that. So I think that definitely helps. And then lastly, I think the other thing is this running back room is going to look a lot different. And by that, it's just with playing time. It's going to be, last year there were times where they were playing 4 running backs in one quarter, which is insane to me. But now they've got a good 3 running back rotation between Hassan Haskins, Blake Corum, and now I'm blanking, and Donovan Edwards, the freshman. And so Donovan Edwards, another, he's been bumped up to a 5-star. And it sounds like he had some really good flashes. So I think that Corum and Haskins will get the good chunk, and then they'll throw in Edwards a little bit there too. But it sounded like Hassan Haskins was essentially untackleable at times, really, bullying this defense. So that's it. That's exciting, because I think that this running back room could be the most talented position group in all of for the whole team.
Talking Michigan football with Justin Rowe. Please like the video, share the videos on social media, because if you enjoy them, others will as well. So we ask that you share the videos on social media, and please subscribe right here. All right. You mentioned, and we really focused on this last week, so playing music at the practices, just to create some fun, create some juice. We see that with the coaching changes, that we'll see how that plays out, but more youth on the coaching staff. We see this director of player personnel being brought in from Fresno State, Courtney Morgan. So yeah, there's something to that possibly.